Hello, and welcome to your news and features electronic magazine that centers on the different facets of motoring. Now in its 34th year, this is Motoring Today. On behalf of our dad, Butch Gamboa, I'm Ray Louie Gamboa.
And I'm Susie Gamboa. Here are the features we have for you this week. On Motoring Forum, we shall discuss the return of traditional jeepneys on the road. A road safety reminder on the Young Street Smarts portion centers on the right way to cross a stop-through street. This week's Spying Chuper shall be about the limit on the number of passengers in PUVs. The public service segment centers on the reaction to Metro Manila's changing air quality. Showcase this week shall have the midsize SUV from SsangYong, the 2020 Rexton 2.2-liter 4x4 automatic. While for race weekend, we'll look back on the third round of the 2020 Philippine Autocross Championship Series.
All these plus the latest news in transportation and traffic management, as well as developments in the automotive industry, are this week's edition of Motoring Today. Join us.
Be part of the 2020-2021 Autofocus People's Choice Awards, the only nationwide poll to determine the country's most popular car brands and models. It's easy. Log on, then vote for as many as 5 different models that you believe should become the 2020-2021 Autofocus Automobile of the Year in separate standard and premium luxury categories. Vote every day until September 30, 2020. The Autofocus People's Choice Awards. Who will win? You choose, you decide. Vote now.
What do we go for? We go for experience. We go for excitement. We go for sport. We go for style. We go for fun. We go for the new Toyota Wigo.
Welcome back. Here now are the country's latest news and developments in transportation and traffic management. Transport authorities and the MMDA are keen on establishing what they call the EDSA busway and have started interim operations of this new system for deploying buses and for loading and unloading passengers at designated stops. The DOTR, in coordination with the LTFRB and the MMDA, is establishing what it calls the EDSA busway. As envisioned by transport authorities, the EDSA busway will have at least 550 buses plying a loop from Monumento in Caloocan to the Parañaque Integrated Terminal Exchange, or PITX, using the innermost lanes when on EDSA and taking on and unloading passengers at designated stops erected in the center of the metro's busiest thoroughfare. But until concrete barriers are installed to completely separate the bus lane and the bus stops are erected with complete canopies, lighting and railings, the DOTR decided to initiate what it called the interim operation of the EDSA busway using 150 buses. Under the interim operation, buses to Quezon Avenue will be using EDSA curbside bus stops at Bagong Barrio, LRT Balintawak, Caingin Road, the LRT Muñoz Station, and the MRT North Avenue Station and the MRT Quezon Avenue. Buses will then use the busway median lanes already delineated by barriers from Quezon Avenue all the way to Estrella, after which they will be allowed to use the curbside stops from Buendia to the PITX. The EDSA busway concept appears to be similar to the bus rapid transit system proposed for Cebu and Metro Manila. Some are wondering what happened to those proposals. A new interchange linked to NLEX has been opened to motorists and will not only help ease traffic congestion in Bocaue, Bulacan, but will also further spur economic growth in the eastern parts of the province. The new Tambobong interchange of the North Luzon Expressway at Bocaue, Bulacan is now open to motorists. The new interchange comprises a 2-lane southbound entry to the NLEX, a 2-lane northbound entry, and a 3-lane northbound exit. It also has exclusive RFID lanes to encourage cashless and faster transaction. In the press statement announcing the opening of the Tambobong interchange, J. Luigi L. Bautista, NLEX Corporation President and General Manager, said, "With these new access roads, we're expecting to enhance mobility within the Bulacan road network and help alleviate the heavy traffic situation at the Bocaue interchange." Also at the ceremony marking the interchange opening, DPWH Secretary Mark Villar said, "The completion of this new route is vital to fulfilling our goal of improving roads leading to growth corridors. We are delighted to have our commuters know that we are able to provide traffic congestion relief and reduce travel time between the NLEX and eastern Bulacan towns." Bulacan has seen heightened commercial activities and real estate development, and the Tambobong interchange should help facilitate and enhance its growth. The COVID-19 pandemic has prompted the LTO to fast-track plans to implement more online transactions and limit face-to-face interactions with the public. This includes filing of applications and issuance of driver's licenses. Applications for new and renewal of driver's and conductor's licenses, as well as other miscellaneous transactions, can now be submitted to 24 LTO district branch and satellite offices nationwide. The LTO said online applications for licenses, as well as payment of fees, is being made possible through the Land Transport Management System, or LTMS, now being pilot tested and fast-tracked by the DOTR. The LTMS also covers booking of appointments for transactions that need the presence of applicants. This among the online and digital initiatives being pushed by the DOTR as part of containment measures to stop the spread of COVID-19. Applications for student driver permits will be included in the program once the LTO integrates the new requirement for seminar applicants need to undergo. Online applications are now being accepted at the following LTO offices: Going digital is inevitable in this day and age, perhaps even more so in a pandemic that is seen to change many ways of doing business and interacting with others. The LTO and other government agencies should do well in fast-tracking the shift to more online and digital transactions and processes, not only to help limit the contagion while making services and functions more efficient. The MRT-3 has been hit with an outbreak of COVID-19, forcing management to suspend operations. The MRT-3 suspended operations beginning on Tuesday, July 7, after a spike in the number of COVID-19 cases among MRT personnel. MRT-3 Director for Operations Michael Capati announced that the rail line will suspend operations for 5 days while all its personnel, including those of its maintenance provider and other subcontractors, undergo swab testing. Meanwhile, all MRT3 facilities, including its depot station and trains, will undergo thorough disinfection. The DOTR reported that as of Saturday, July 5, 186 MRT3 personnel were confirmed to have tested positive for COVID-19. DOTR Undersecretary for Rails Timothy John Batan said that of the 186 infected, 169 were workers at the depot, 12 were station personnel, 3 were train drivers, and 2 were from the Operations Control Center. Only 2 have developed symptoms, while the rest were asymptomatic. All those who tested positive were sent to government quarantine facilities. The MRT3's quick response to the outbreak should reassure commuters. Still, it must be said that the MRT3 personnel as well as riders should remember to strictly comply with physical distancing protocols, the proper use of masks, and sanitizing hands as frequently as possible when operations resume. Those are the latest news in transportation and traffic management. Coming up next is Motoring Forum, brought to you by Suzuki Philippines. Traditional jeepneys are back on the streets, but under strict government mandate to comply with health protocols and other conditions for their return. Can or will jeepney drivers and operators comply with the conditions? Will government continue to push the jeepney modernization program heading to the new normal? Motoring Forum will look into these and other aspects of the return of traditional jeepneys to the streets. The Interagency Task Force on Emerging Infectious Diseases has finally allowed traditional jeepneys to resume operations in Metro Manila after more than 3 months under Enhanced Community Quarantine or ECQ. Traditional jeepneys were among the last of various public transport modes to be allowed to resume operations in the metro as the IATF began to ease restrictions and gradually restart the economy. First putting the metro under Modified Enhanced Community Quarantine or MECQ, then General Community Quarantine or GCQ. First, trains and augmentation buses. Buses to catch the overflow of passengers from the MRT, point-to-point buses, taxis and TNVs or Transport Network Vehicle Service Units. Shuttles and tricycles were allowed. All mandated to operate under reduced capacity to comply with physical distancing and other protocols meant to stop the spread of COVID-19. Then it was the turn of public utility buses, UV Express shuttles, and the so-called modern jeepneys to be allowed back into operation. The IATF and transport authorities explained the rationale behind the implementation of phased resumption of public transport modes. They said priority was given to transport modes with larger capacities like rail systems and buses, and those that could easily comply with physical distancing and other mandated protocols against the spread of COVID-19 infections. Meanwhile, transport authorities continued to assure any who would listen that traditional jeepneys would be called on to serve commuters in routes where there was clear lack of public transport modes to meet the rising demand. As this was happening, drivers of traditional jeepneys were seen on the streets begging for help and food. Their leaders also pressed authorities to allow traditional jeepneys back into operation, criticizing their transport policies during the pandemic as heartless and anti-poor. Drivers and operators also accused transport authorities of using the pandemic to finally phase out traditional jeepneys out of business. Responding to the accusations, the DOTR defended the jeepney modernization program, which it emphasized started way before the COVID-19 pandemic broke out. It said the Public Utility Vehicle Modernization Program, or PUVMP, launched in 2017 and it was not about phasing out traditional jeepneys. The PUVMP aimed to transform the entire public land transport system into one that is safe, efficient, and environmentally friendly, the DOTR said. It pointed out that the PUVMP was also motivated by the need to comply with environmental laws and regulations on vehicle emissions. The modernization program gave jeepney operators and drivers 3 years to form cooperatives to avail themselves of incentives and other government financial programs to replace old and dilapidated jeepneys, it added. The DOTR said that the program encouraged the acquisition of so-called modern jeepneys that meet new standards for safety and other requirements set by government for various classes of public utility vehicles. Government also wanted to get rid of the boundary system to be replaced by a system where drivers worked on fixed, regular hours and were paid a salary like other workers and make them become eligible for benefits like SSS and PhilHealth, the DOTR said. In finally moving to allow traditional jeepneys to resume operations on identified routes, the DOTR said it would ensure only roadworthy units are allowed back on the streets. It was left to the LTFRB to issue the guidelines for the return of traditional jeepneys under GCQ in Metro Manila. The guidelines said only jeepneys registered with the LTO as roadworthy and with valid personal passenger insurance policy would be allowed to ply routes under GCQ. The LTFRB identified 49 routes covering 6,002 units where traditional jeepneys would be allowed to operate. No special permits are required, but drivers and operators were directed to download QR codes from the LTFRB website and have these printed to be displayed on jeepney units to show authorities that they are included in the order to resume operations in respective routes. The guidelines also stipulated strict compliance with safety measures prior to dispatch and during operations, such as checking of body temperature, wearing masks and gloves at all times, and operating at a maximum of 50% capacity, and distributing passenger contact forms. The LTFRB also warned that failure to comply with the conditions set forth by the board will incur penalties from imposition of fines to cancellation or suspension of their certificate of public convenience or provisional authority. Some say that how operators and drivers of traditional jeepneys operate and provide transport to commuters under community quarantine protocols will help determine their fate. Will they be disciplined and responsible in complying with traffic regulations or, even more importantly, with protocols meant to help stop the spread of COVID-19? Will or can transport authorities find a way to make jeepneys with the iconic design adapt to the new standards for design and function recommended for mandated for classes of PUV categories? The answers to these questions will certainly continue to fan the debate on whether the traditional jeepney will have a relevant role in the future of mass transport.
What do we go for? We go for experience. We go for excitement. We go for sport. We go for style. We go for fun. We go for the new Toyota Wigo. The Mitsubishi Mirage.
Drive your ambition. Mitsubishi Motors.
You are back with us here on Motoring Today. In line with our lifelong commitment to promote road safety, here is this week's road safety tip in cooperation with Toyota Motor Philippines. Always stop on stop lines when crossing an intersection. Kung marami kayong sasakyan na nasa lane, cross one at a time when it's go time. At huwag agad-agad na sumunod sa nauunang sasakyan. Dahil maaaring makabanggaan mo ang mga parating na sasakyan na galing sa ibang lane. Wait for a while before following the car ahead of you. Palaging tandaan na mahalagang magkaroon ng pasensya kapag nasa daan. Continuing with this week's edition of Motoring Today, let's now focus on proper driver's demeanor, especially for those driving PUVs. From Mitsubishi Motors Philippines, here's Paing Chuper this week.
Payo Chuper lang kaibigan. Ako si Alejandro Luico, isang kapwa niyo Chuper Huwag nang ipilit magsakay ng pasahero kung hindi nakasya.
Ang bawat pampasadang sasakyan ay mayroong tinatawag na passenger limit o bilang ng mga pasahero na magkakasya. Kapag puno na, iwasang magtawag pa ng ilan at ipagsiksikan. Tandaan din na bawal maglagay ng ekstra bangko sa gitna ng pampasadang sasakyan.
Palaging isipin na mahalaga rin na komportable ang ating mga pasahero. Ito po si Alejandro Loico, Payong Super lang, kaibigan mula sa inyong kapwa niyo, super.
What do we go for? We go for experience. We go for excitement. We go for sport. We go for style. We go for fun. We go for the new Toyota Wigo.
Be part of the 2020-2021 Autofocus People's Choice Awards, the only nationwide poll to determine the country's most popular car brands and models. It's easy. Log on, then vote for as many as 5 different models that you believe should become the 2020-2021 Autofocus Automobile of the Year in separate standard and premium luxury categories. Vote every day until September 30, 2020. The Autofocus People's Choice Awards. Who will win? You choose, you decide. Vote now.
The third round of the 2020 Philippine Autocross Championship Series was one of the latest motorsports events that managed to be run before the ECQ got the motorsports season suspended. Here are some of the highlights and sidelights of the race. We are back after a long layoff here in Robinson Santa Rosa for the third round of the 2020 Philippine Autocross Championship Series as we officially kick off the hot weather season. It was a hot Sunday, March 8, when the third round of the 2020 PAX was run at the sprawling parking area of the Robinson Santa Rosa. It was, as all PAX race weekends have been for a number of years, a well-attended affair. Underneath a line of tents were cars being prepped for timed runs around twin autocross tracks laid out on the hot paved surface. Over at a designated start lines queued drivers and cars called to be flagged off. The challenge is to go fast around the course, outlined by pylons and markers, with short straights, tight chicanes, 180-degree turns, without hitting pylons and going off the course. It was a hectic and busy day for organizers to get all the entries in many class championships, based on car make and type and levels of modification to complete their runs and set official times. And the third round was particularly heavy with entries. There were the contenders vying for overall and class championships. There were the weekend racers looking to sate their appetite for speed. Many were first-timers to the sport, lured by the promise of excitement and thrill of organized motorsports. Boys and girls alike, like Ethan Paredes.
I found out about PAX from my uncle, and he said he wanted me to try it because he said I like cars. He said I should try racing.
And how did Ethan find his first ever try in autocross racing, and will he continue to do so?
I had only run 1 out of 4. I have 3 more categories to run. To practice my skills and possibly try to to get better in racing.
And what about his ultimate goal in motorsport?
My new idol is Ronald and got fastest lap a while ago, which is my age, and I really aspire to be him someday.
Also newcomers to Autocross at the third round were Kirsten Sanchez and Dorothea Legaspi. Kirsten was drawn to Autocross by her father, from whom she got tips on how to tackle the course, and from PAC's main man, Danny Santiago himself as well.
Yung first, ang inano po sa akin ni Sir Danny, yung late braking po. Tapos yung sa dad ko naman po, sa pylon po na mas malapit po na.
Kirsten's first runs were, as expected, not quite to her liking, but she expects to improve, especially with plans to participate in racing clinics.
Hindi pa po siya masyadong maganda kasi first time pa po, pero nag-expect po ako na improvement. Sasali po ako ng mga clinics para po mag-improve yung performance.
Meanwhile, Dorothea was also drawn to Autocross by her father, as well as friends who are into motorsports, who shared one race car in the round. She also got tips on how to take the cars from her dad.
Actually, I didn't have any preparations. This is actually my first time seeing this car and driving this car. I got tips from his father, and the guy who owns this car told me about how to take the turns as well, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Dorothea rode shotgun on board with Radsmir Salazar, whose father raced with Danny Santiago in earlier times. Radsmir was a downhill bike racer who now finds racing in four-wheel vehicles more enjoyable, even while using an unfamiliar car.
I found car racing a little bit enjoyable than because I used to race downhill bikes back in the day, but car racing is more enjoyable. I have my first run earlier, didn't go well. This is the first time I raced this car. I found the car a little bit loose because we didn't have a time to tune it properly.
The third round of the 2020 Philippine Autocross Championship Series also saw local motorsports legend Mike Potenciano participating as guest driver for the Mark Young Racing Team. The team also has defending 2019 PACS champion Inigo Anton.
So, this is a fast-paced league, no? And a lot of young racers. Give us your thoughts on your participation here in the 2020 Philippine Autocross Championship Series.
Well, like you said, this is very competitive. And we're very happy to note that Mark Young Racing Team has invited us over to race again. So our first one was in R33 San Simon track. We got second overall in the overall class. And we got third place in the open division. So right now, Carlos and Inigo Anton are doing well. So we'll just be here to try and be a buffer between them and the other racers. So they missed the second leg. So they have to catch up in points. This is where we have to go in between the others.
When you say PACS, what do you look forward to? I mean, for you, how different is this compared to the racing leagues that you have participated in?
We've also done a lot of autocross, also slaloms before, and this is really good to get your feet wet. As you can see, any kind of car you can modify, you can keep it stock, and you can race them already. So hopefully you also have the what we call the best pakan. So the ultra modified cars with the very good drivers on it and very fast engines. And I think this is where you'll see also the best drivers running.
Even at 15 going on 16, Inigo Anton should already be mentioned among the ranks of the country's best drivers. And after missing the second round, Inigo returned to show that he indeed is a deserving champion. Still, the young Anton remains focused on defending his title in 2020 against a bevy of strong contenders.
It was like almost a month of no driving or no had a trip with my family, a vacation. So feels good to be back here again, once racing again. And I know there was a lot of pressure on me because in the second round I wasn't there and a lot of people like even Danby showed up. So I knew I had to be prepared for this round. And I just did my first two runs. I was able to get the best time. So I'm really happy that I'm back, yeah. Right now, there's really a lot of people. Of course, I'd say my greatest competitor is my dad right now. So about the race. You know, he taught me everything. Our driving styles are the same, so it's gonna be an interesting fight. Also, Tita Mike Potenciano, my teammate also was that a legend in Philippine racing, and he's here today also to try and fight against it. And also Ryan Ablang was also overall, I think, last time. So it's gonna be a very busy season. Hopefully that we can come in top at the end of the season.
Inigo was fastest overall in the third round of the 2020 PAX. His father Carlos was second, and second round winner Ryan Ablang was third. At the time, all indications pointed to a busy and hot summer for motorsports and competitive year for overall and class championship in autocross and other motorsports disciplines. Alas, this was not to be, as before the month of March was over. The COVID-19 pandemic forced authorities to declare the enhanced community quarantine. Still, many are hopeful that the motorsports events will resume this year, even under social or physical distancing norms. Before ECQ was declared, the 2020 motorsports season was just getting started, with many racers and teams, newbies and veterans alike, all eager to show up for exciting race weekends. Here's praying for the health crisis to end and the racing to begin anew. And that's this week's World of Motorsports. Motoring Today continues right after this break.
What do we go for? We go for experience. We go for excitement. We go for sport. We go for style. We go for fun. We go for the new Toyota Wigo.
Elevate your journey. The new Montero Sport. Drive your ambition. Mitsubishi Motors.
Welcome back to Motoring Today. Let's now take a look at what's happening in the local auto industry.
Bentley has revealed details of the new Bentayga, the handcrafted sport utility vehicle that set new benchmarks for luxury in the segment. The new Bentayga, designed, engineered, and handcrafted in Crewe, England, been totally redesigned inside out and now sports the dynamic Bentley design concept introduced earlier in the third generation Continental GT and the all-new Flying Spur. In a press statement, Adrian Hallmark, chairman and chief executive of Bentley Motors, said, "With the new Bentayga, we are repositioning the pinnacle of the luxury SUV segment to be even higher, even further away from the competition. We've listened to our customers and made improvements to the areas most important to them, and the new Bentayga is a thoroughly modern and beautiful extension of the original car's abilities and achievements." The new Bentayga exterior features larger matrix grille, intelligent matrix LED headlamps featuring cut crystal glassware, a more aggressive front bumper, a totally redesigned rear defined by full width, wide tailgate with encapsulated lamps, wide split tailpipes, new design wheels. Inside the roomier cabin features a new center fascia, steering wheel, and door trim. All new 11.9-inch digital display with higher resolution and dynamic graphics, and redesigned seats with more legroom. The Bentayga also features the latest hardware and software for infotainment and connectivity. Bentley said the new model will initially be launched in Bentayga V8 guise, offering supercar performance balanced with everyday usability, with the plug-in hybrid and W12 powered speed version to follow this year. The V8's 4-liter twin-turbocharged petrol engine develops an impressive 542 bhp and 770 Nm of torque. Trisenberg Auto Corp (TAC), local official distributor of JAC passenger and light commercial vehicles, joined the competitive compact crossover segment with the JAC S4. TAC said it's confident that the budget-friendly JAC S4, which uses the Volkswagen VDA quality system, can battle toe-to-toe with the competition in a spec-to-spec battle. The JAC S4 sports a 1.5-liter turbocharged engine with IVVT technology that generates 147 horsepower and 210 Nm of torque, mated to either a 6-speed manual or continuously variable transmission. Inside the JAC S4 features cutting-edge technology from interactive 10.25-inch LED instrument panel, a 10.25-inch LED instrument panel with smartphone connectivity, to a smart entry and push start system. It also features a host of active and passive vehicle safety systems, from airbags and side curtains and seat belts to ABS, EBD, blind spot monitoring, electronic stability control, hill start assist, brake override system, lane departure warning, and much more. The JAC S4 is available locally in 4 variants: Luxury with 6-speed manual transmission, Luxury with CVT, Intelligent CVT, and Ultimate with CVT. Pricing starts from 878,000 pesos to the top of the line 1,098,000 pesos. AC Motors, the automotive and motorcycle arm of AC Industrials of Ayala Corporation, has rolled out an online platform for owners to consult with service advisors and technicians for maintenance and repair needs of their vehicles. Called Master Mechanics, the platform is available to owners of Honda, Isuzu, Volkswagen, KTM, Kia, and Maxus vehicles. Master Mechanics has a pool of 40 after-sales managers and advisors who provide a customer-centric, one-stop after-sales consultation service through email, Facebook, and mobile SMS or text. The pool of experts will be available to answer customers' concerns and queries from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. all days of the week. The Master Mechanics online help desk will cover the following general concerns: vehicle care, battery maintenance, proper vehicle storage, among others. Do-it-yourself maintenance advisory, basic warranty policies, inquiries on car and motorcycle features, dealer information and services, accessories, product and brand-specific questions, and guided basic checks.
Motoring Today now brings you our Car of the Week on Showcase, courtesy of Prudential Guarantee. The 4th largest automotive manufacturer in South Korea, SsangYong Motor has built itself a reputation as a maker of premium SUVs with solid design, all-wheel drive, and diesel engineering. Up next, we take a look at one of the models it has brought to our shores via SsangYong Philippines, the 2020 Rexton 2.2-liter 4x4 automatic. Watch this. Many are wondering about how the local automotive market will fare post-community quarantine. If there are still people looking to acquire mid-size SUVs, then among the top-of-the-mind options should be the 2020 SsangYong Rexton, our featured vehicle on Showcase, courtesy of Prudential Guarantee.
Drive worry-free with Prudential Guarantee's auto insurance program with a free 24-hour nationwide roadside assistance included with your comprehensive auto insurance. Rest assured, we'll take care of you and your car wherever you are. Prudential Guarantee's auto insurance program, 100% worry-free driving.
Be part of the 2020-2021 Autofocus People's Choice Awards, the only nationwide poll to determine the country's most popular car brands and models. It's easy. Log on, then vote for as many as 5 different models that you believe should become the 2020-2021 Autofocus Automobile of the Year in separate standard and premium luxury categories. Vote every day until September 30, 2020. The Autofocus People's Choice Awards. Who will win? You choose, you decide. Vote now.
What do we go for? We go for experience. We go for excitement. We go for sport. We go for style. We go for fun. We go for the new Toyota Wigo.
We now have our segment that dwells on the wide array of motoring problems, not only in the metro but all over the country as well. This is where we present problems referred to us or we ourselves see and hope to find solutions for. Here's our public service segment brought to you by Honda Cars Philippines.
We've previously discussed how Metro Manila's polluted air had changed when the region was under enhanced community quarantine, and that air quality has significantly improved. We've also reported how the Transport Department and the Land Transportation Office have planned to maintain this through the enforcement of emission standard laws for vehicles, as the national government slowly allowed the reopening of industries for the economy. This has also resulted to more and more vehicles on the road, both private and public ones, becoming a worrisome issue for some. It is expected that Metro's improved air quality will be back to being polluted. From post-enhanced community quarantine up to now, the DOTR, together with the MMDA, has pushed for the use of non-motorized modes of transportation such as bicycles, scooters, and the like.
Tinutulak po ng kagawaran ng transportasyon ang ating bike lanes dito po sa National Capital Region and even to other provinces po dito sa ating bansa. I am proud to say that the DOTR, together with MMDA, has pushed for the implementation of the bike lanes, particularly sa EDSA po.
Also, one of the programs of the DOTR and the LTFRB that will address problems on safety and health-related issues in transportation is the modernization of public utility vehicles.
We have a choice, minimum Euro 4 compliant system o kaya electric vehicle, because we need to address the requirement of the Clean Air Act na hanggang ngayon and only now under the administration of Mayor Duterte na napapatupad yung Clean Air Act insofar as public transport is concerned. No? So, sinusulong po natin ito para mapagaan ang ating pagbabiyahe at ligtas din tayo.
Aside from the government, the private sector has also stepped up to maintain a clean and safe air. One of them is Clean Air Philippines Movement Incorporated.
Ang ginagawa po namin is to continue our existing programs. Even before, our slogan is karapatan ng bawat mamamayan ang makalanghap ng malinis na hangin. So what we're doing here is conducting press conferences like this that we are doing presently now. Mga seminars, mga educational information to students and to the public. Yun po ang mga programs na ginagawa namin para po na promote natin ang social obligation natin na mananatili ang malinis na hangin at ang kalusugan ng ating kalikasan. Ang ating environment is very important so that we will be able to live longer, we will have a long life expectancy, and we will have also good health. Ang amin lang naman dito sa Clean Air Philippine Movement is to promote good health and long life.
We thank the government and the private sector for their efforts to keep the air we are breathing as clean and as fresh as possible. Here's hoping that we all work together to achieve a common goal.
That's our public service segment from Honda Cars Philippines. And should you yourself encounter motoring problems that need immediate attention, please feel free to contact us. See the details being flashed on your screen. And that's the week that was in motoring. Thank you for joining us. Also, please don't forget to check us out on our social media accounts.
Until next week here on Motoring Today, now on its 34th year of continuing service to the general motoring public with a lifelong commitment to promote road safety. Please continue to be safe at all times. On behalf of Butch Gamboa, our dad, I'm Ray Louie Gamboa.
And I'm Susie Gamboa. Happy motoring!